Hello everyone, my name is Nianne and this is Animals with Nianne. And today we're going to talk about one of the smallest bats in Europe, the common pipistrelle, or the scientific name Pipistrellus pipistrellus. Although it weighs only a few grams, this bat is a very efficient predator, which we'll talk about a little bit later on. And the reason why I chose to talk about this bat is because this summer I'll be working on some bat research. And I thought, talking about this bat is a good practice for me as well to even understand this bat better. And bats are just cool. They're cool creatures. Who doesn't love them, Anyways, with this bat research, I'm going to walk around neighborhoods and try to locate bats using a little bat detector. And yeah, I'll just try to see what the bats are, the type of bats that I can find. Yeah, just try to gather a bunch of data information about bats, and then I'll send that to the organization I'm working for, and they will use that information for the government or other organizations. In this video I'll talk about the anatomy of the common pipistrelle, the habitat, the behavior, diet and reproduction, but also the very important thing, the threats that they face in the world and organizations that help to protect the common pipistrelle. So grab a drink, let's get comfortable and learn more about these amazing bat species. The common pipistrelle is a small bat with a body length of 3,5 to 4,5 centimeters, and it has a wingspan of 20 to 25 centimeters. As I've mentioned before in the introduction, they only weigh a few grams, so they're very small. But despite their small size, they have incredible long and slender wings that help them maneuver quickly through the air. Its fur is usually light or golden brown with a pale underside. And one of the most fascinating features of the common pipistrelle is their large ears, which they use for echolocation. Now, I have to say their ears are not as big as how was it called again? A long-eared bat. I think that's the right English name, I'm not sure. They have crazy big ears, the long-eared bats. The common pipistrelle, the ears are not that big, but they're still big for such a small animal. They use these ears for sound waves bouncing off objects to locate where they are and what objects are around them. And this echolocation is very, very precise. You might have heard that bats use echolocation because they're blind, but this is a myth. Bats are not blind, they can see just fine. However, when it's dark, that's the time that they will hunt. The eyes are not evolved to see that well in dark, so they'll use echolocation to help them hunt and see through the dark. Besides that, the pipistrelle also has a specialized tail membrane which extends the legs and helps them stabilize during its flight. Now, where do these tiny bats live? They're common across whole Europe, and they thrive in a range of environments such as forests, woodlands, towns, cities, and yeah, they're very good at adapting to human-made structures such as buildings, especially old buildings like churches. But they also like to go into roof spaces or cavities. In summer they prefer warm and sheltered locations where there's a lot of food for them. And in winter they like to be in an environment that has a stable temperature, like caves, cellars, or again, buildings. Moving on to the behavior, the common pipistrelle is nocturnal and most active around dusk. As I said before, it uses echolocation to locate food. These bats are very agile and fly in erratic patterns. They're very quickly and yeah, it's just really fun to watch them fly around and the patterns that they fly in. I don't really know how to describe their flying pattern. Hopefully I can find a video and I will try to include a video in this video so you can have a better understanding of the way that they fly. I think it's very fun to watch. They can cover large areas in search of food. Another thing about the behavior is that they will often live in small colonies, especially females with their young. Yeah, it's quite common that they will live together and help each other to raise their young. And males most of the time are living solitary or they live in smaller battery groups. What I find very interesting is that some researchers think that bat colonies have a leader. This leader guides the group to better locations where the shelter is more ideal for them and where food is more abundant. However, this theory is not confirmed. There's more research needed to further understand the bat behavior and the social roles that they have. But it's a very interesting thought, and I think it just really shows that we actually don't know that much about bats, and the behavior and the group dynamics may be much more complex than we might think that it is. During winter, bats will go into hibernation to save energy. They rely on fat that they stored up during the warmer summer months, and every now and then they will wake up, stretch their legs a little bit, get a snack, drink a little bit, and then they will go back to hibernation. The breeding season for pipistrelles usually occur during late summer and early autumn. However, this can also occur during spring, but that's less common. During the breeding seasons, the males will display a certain area and they will try to attract the women to go to this area, and they'll also have specialized calls to call for the women. What I find very interesting with common pipistrelles and also other bats is that even when mating occurs, fertilization doesn't have to happen right away. The females can delay fertilization or even pregnancy altogether, or even cancel pregnancy. It's crazy. It's crazy. I think this is so cool. Anyways, females will do this when conditions are not good enough to raise their young. For example, when temperatures are too extreme or when food is very scarce. A single pup, which is the young, is born in late spring or early summer. Birthing two pups is also possible, but it is less likely to happen. The pups are born blind and they're very tiny in the beginning and completely dependent on their mother. The pups grow quickly, and within 3 to 4 weeks they will learn how to fly. The common pipistrelles eat insects. It has a varied diet, eating a bunch of different insects such as moths, midges, beetles, and other flying insects. In one night, they can eat more than 3,000 insects. That's so much for such a little bat. They're such an excellent natural pest controller. More than 3,000. Of course, this totally depends on the type of insect they eat. Some insects are bigger than other ones, and eating bigger insects will keep them fuller for longer. They can eat a crazy amount of insects in one night. And because they can eat so many insects in one night, they are very important in the ecosystem and just keeping insect populations in check. The common pipistrelle usually hunts close to the ground or around tree branches, again using echolocation to locate their surrounding, to make a mental map of their surrounding. According to the IUCN, the common pipistrelle is assessed as least concern, with the most recent assessment made on May 14, 2019. Despite being able to adapt to different environments, the common pipistrelle still faces threats that impact their well-being and their survival. Especially during hibernation, they're very vulnerable. If they are disturbed too often by human activity, for example, they can lose energy, and that energy is essential for their survival. They need that energy to survive the winter months. While bats often roost in buildings, urbanization and the loss of old buildings mean fewer safer places to rest for the bats. And cities are also less active, probably because there's less insects and fewer safer resting spots. Another big problem to the common pipistrelle, and also other bats included, are pesticides. Pesticides kill their prey. They kill insects, and bats need to eat as well. It can also harm bats directly by lowering body condition, lowering their body weight, and affecting reproduction. Another threat that they face are wind turbines. Wind turbines can scare off bats in their natural habitat, and the strong air pressure from the wind turbines make it more difficult for bats to fly, which means that they will have to use more energy that is crucial for their survival. Sometimes the bats accidentally fly into the wind turbines, often unfortunately resulting in major injuries and even death. And long-term exposure to heavy metals may cause stress to the bats or lower their survival chances, is what I wanted to say. Thankfully, there are a lot of organizations that try to help protect the bats. I've listed 4 down. There's many more, but I don't want to make an hour-long video. So 4 it is. First of all, I have the Bat Conservation Trust. This is a charity located in the UK that focuses on bat conservation, education, advocacy, and supporting bat-friendly practices. The second organization is the Wildlife Trust. This one is also located in the UK, and they work on the conservation of wildlife, including the common pipistrelle and also other bat species. What they do is they will provide research to protect bat habitats and roosting spaces. The third organization I have is the European Bat Research Network. This is an international network that supports bat conservation, research and efforts to protect bat species across Europe. And the last organization I've written down is the Bat Life Europe. This is a European coalition of bat organizations, and they work on projects that protect bat and promote legal protection of their habitats. You can also help the common pipistrelle and other bat species by creating a bat-friendly garden, such as installing bat boxes or planting plants that insects love, which provide food and shelter for these amazing creatures. That's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed learning more about the common pipistrelle and the incredible work that's being done to help protect and save these amazing bat species. If you have any questions or thoughts, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. As usual, I'll link all the sources and the organizations in the description box. And yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a notification if you want to stay updated on all the videos that I will post. Thank you again. Thank you so much. I had a good time, and I hope you also had a good time. Until next time, take care.